Good evening. It's time for the Iman Report. It's part two of the Iman Report. It's still Tuesday, September 21st, and now we are going to preview Week 4 of college football. If you like what you see, give this channel a like, and please be kind and hit that subscribe button. We are going to do the top 25 for the most part. We're going to start off with number 25, Kansas State against Oklahoma State, what could be a very good Big 12 matchup coming up for K-State. Oklahoma State, always a good program. Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State 3-0, K-State 3-0. This could be a a surprisingly good game, not being aired nationally. It's on the Big 12 network at ESPN+. Oklahoma State, the 6-point favorites against Kansas State. This game should be very close. I'm going to take the points in this game. I think Oklahoma State's going to come up victorious. Something around probably 37 to 34. But these are two very good schools going up against each other, and this should be a fun Big 12 game coming up. Next up, number 24 against Stanford. Is UCLA a fraud at 24? Quite possible. Is Stanford better than what we've given credit for? I think so. This is going to be a very fun, close matchup between the two schools. Stanford already has a win over USC. And you know what? Yeah, I think I am putting UCLA on upset alert against Stanford this week. Stanford is, right now, Stanford is 2-1. They've got wins over USC and Vanderbilt and a loss to K-State. If UCLA wins this game, I do think UCLA could have the inside track in the South Division to win the Pac-12, to make it to the championship game. So this has got a lot. This could be for all the marbles. Stanford could stake a claim at possibly playing Oregon towards the end of the year. I'm going to do it. I'm picking Stanford to upset UCLA. I think UCLA are frauds. UCLA's defense is sus. Stanford pulls the upset. Stanford wins. You got Auburn against Georgia State, 27.5-point favorites. I think this one's obvious. Auburn's going to make quick work of Georgia State. Now on to Pac-12 action. Fresno State, a 30.5-point favorites to UNLV. This could have a makings of a letdown for Fresno State after coming off a big victory against UCLA at the Rose Bowl, who was ranked 13 at the time. So this could be a letdown game, but UNLV is bad. UNLV is a bad team. I think Fresno State is going to win this game, but I'm going to take the points at 30.5 points. And now we get North Carolina and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech nearly upset Clemson last week, with North Carolina now at 21. North Carolina, the 12.5-point favorites. North Carolina's got a better quarterback than Clemson. So I think this one is going to be a close one as in terms of the spread. But I am going to say North Carolina is going to win this one. North Carolina is going to cover. We get now Michigan State and Nebraska. Michigan State, the 5-point favorites over Nebraska. Nebraska coming off a tough loss to Oklahoma last week. And Nebraska's 2-2, but still wins are hard to come by for Nebraska, as Nebraska is looking to get to 6 wins this year in order for Scott Frost to be safe and for Nebraska to be tending up. Michigan State has looked great this year. They have been Cinderellas of the Pac-10, of the Big Ten so far. I think Michigan State's going to take care of business. They're going to win against Nebraska. They are going to cover the spread. Next, you get a battle of 2 3-0 teams in the Big Ten at Ann Arbor with the Michigan Wolverines against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Rutgers has looked much better since Greg Schiano has taken over the football program at Rutgers. So they're looking more relevant these days at Rutgers. Michigan 3-0, they've looked great so far. I think Rutgers, though, they're improved, but I don't think they're going to be any match for Michigan. Michigan's going to win. I think Michigan's going to cover. And now that one's going to be later. And now we get this one. I won't waste too much time. Coastal Carolina against UMass. Coastal Carolina is going to make quick work of UMass. They're going to cover that 35.5-point spread. This one should be no contest. South Florida against BYU. BYU looking to win convincingly against South Florida. BYU definitely in the hunt for that. BYU would love to get that group of 6 bowl, that group of 5 bowl bid. They have taken care of business against the Pac-12 this year. Now they get a kind of a soft opponent in South Florida. I think this is going to be another slaughter. BYU wins. They cover the 23.5-point spread. Iowa State against Baylor. Iowa State 2-1. Their only losses to Iowa, which is a great school. Baylor and Baylor themselves are 3-0 right now. Baylor looking to put a feather in their cap against Iowa State. We're going to find out a lot about Baylor in this game, how good Baylor is. I don't think Baylor's going to have the firepower, though, to beat Iowa State when push comes to shove. But I do think maybe you're going to get... But the Baylor 7... Yeah, Baylor is the 7.5-point favorites. So I'm going to take Iowa State in this one. I think Baylor will threaten, but I don't think there's going to be an upset in this one. Now we get to one of the bigger matchups of the week in college football. with Notre Dame going up against Wisconsin. Wisconsin coming in as the 5.5-point favorites. This is the game of the week right here. Notre Dame took care of business last week against Purdue. Now they get to play Wisconsin, another Big Ten school who's no slouch either. You know what? I think this one's got upset written. This will not be much of an upset, but take the points. Wisconsin gets the win over Notre Dame. Florida against Tennessee. Florida lost a close one last week to Alabama. Certainly there's a real possibility that the Tide and Gators could meet again in the SEC championship game later this year. Tennessee football. The Vols are 2-1 so far. But I don't think the Vols are going to be any match for the Gators. Gators are going to take their anger out. Gators, the 20.5-point favorites. I am taking the Gators win, cover. Ohio State against Akron. Ohio State, the 48-point favorites over Akron. Ohio State's going to win. They're not going to cover, though. That's just too big of a spread. Clemson against North Carolina State. Clemson's kind of sleepwalked to 4-0 to 3-1 so far. Clemson has not looked great against Power 5 schools offensively. North Carolina State. Their only losses to Mississippi State. I think this is one that's going to be low scoring. Clemson's got the great defense. But NC State may be better than what is advertised. Clemson's going to win this, but I don't see them cover. I'm going to take the 10 points on the spread. And then another banger on this one's going to be on CBS. Texas A&M against Arkansas. Arkansas coming in as the 5.5-point favorites. This has upset written all over it. This could have upset written all over it. Arkansas surprising people at 3-0, especially with a big win over the Texas Longhorns earlier this year. Texas A&M having wins didn't look impressive over Colorado. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm taking upset here. I think Arkansas pulls off the upset bid of Texas A&M. Then now we get Iowa against Colorado State. This one's not going to be close. Iowa wins. Iowa covers. Oklahoma against West Virginia. West Virginia has looked great this year so far. Well, maybe not. West Virginia coming off an upset of Virginia Tech. Could be a fluke. They have a loss against Maryland. I'm kind of going to go in the imposter category, but I don't think Oklahoma is going to cover. I'm going to take the points on this one. Oklahoma is going to win, but they don't cover. Oregon, Arizona. Arizona might be one of the worst FBS schools in college football this year of the Power 5 schools. U of A Arizona's lost to BYU. They've lost to Northern Arizona. They've lost to San Diego State. I don't think they're going to have any. I don't even think Arizona is going to have any way to compete. Oregon's going to. This game's in Eugene. This game's going to be over quick. This is going to be a massacre. Oregon wins. They cover that big 28.5 point spread. Now you get Penn State against Villanova. Penn State, the 29.5 point favorites. Penn State's going to win and cover. Georgia against Vanderbilt. Georgia, a 34.5 point favorite over Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt 1-2. Yeah, Georgia's going to make. This is another one where this is likely going to be a slaughter. Georgia wins, Georgia covers. And the last one, Southern Miss against Alabama. Yeah, Alabama's going to win it. I'm not going to take the points in this one, though. 44.5 is just too many points for me to cover. So I do think I'll take the points against Southern Mississippi against Alabama, but this is not going to be a competition either. All right, that's my picks for this week. Everybody have a good week. We'll be back tomorrow to preview the NFL.